welcome to OroCommerce's 11th Tech Talk. We'll be here to talk about a specific implementation of Oro that was done, going into detail around the customizations that were put together for a client. Go ahead to the next slide. So personalized buyer experiences for Clabots tools, a construction hardware supplier in Belgium. With us today is valued OroCommerce partner 25 Carats. And we also have representation from Oro as well. So I'll go ahead and let all of the presenters briefly introduce themselves.
Hello guys, my name is Gregory and I'm a developer / product owner at 25 Carats. I've been working there for about 2 years now. Initially started as an intern and I've worked on Oro projects ever since.
Perfect.
Hello everyone, I'm Kenny, managing partner of 25 Carats. I've more than 10 years experience in e-commerce. Today mainly focus on B2B commerce, so therefore I'm joining this webinar today and excited to explore with you the things we did for Clabots tools.
Okay, hey everyone, I'm Jacqueline. I work in Oro since 2018 as a developer and also project lead. And actually since 2020, I'm also Oro trainer and an advisor. So I basically help our partners with their first projects in Oro, with their first customizations.
Excellent. All right, so today's agenda, I'm not going to read all of these things because I'm going to assume that if you're on this webinar that you know how to read because you made it through the registration process. But we're going to introduce everybody, which we've done. We're going to talk about the Clabots journey, why they chose OroCommerce, and go through some of the details between what does OroCommerce do out of the box versus what needed to be a specific customization and why, and then how it was accomplished. So this will get fairly detailed. This will be semi-technical. Again, for those who just joined, there is a Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom ribbon. If you click that, you can then put in questions for the panelists to answer. We will get to those at the end of the presentation. I will read them off and we will have the panelists answer them if they can, and if they cannot, they will send you a $25 gift card to the coffee shop. We didn't talk about this ahead of time. Okay, so let's go ahead and next slide. All right.
So basically, you probably know OroCommerce. It's an e-commerce platform that supports B2B, B2C, and also B2B2B solutions. So it already comes up with some features ready for you, starting from customer management through obviously products, orders, taxes, inventory, and many, many more. We will talk about some of them during today's presentation, and we'll also show you how to customize them. Oro is also designed to scale with your business. So it doesn't matter if you're a small company or if you're a big manufacturer, Oro can handle increased traffic, larger product catalogs, and some complex business processes. And basically, it will grow together with your company. Our platform is also customizable and extendable, so you can very easily fit it to your client needs with little customizations. But also we have many additional functionalities already available for you as extensions, so you can just install and use them. And we have integration capabilities, starting from payment methods, shipping methods, up to ERP and PM systems. And we're actually going to show you a little bit of Akineo PM today.
Well, I'll kick off with a short introduction about 25 Carats. So we are a digital agency founded from out PH Pro, which is part of a bigger group located in Belgium. We have more than 10 years experience in e-commerce and custom web build applications. But with 25 Carat, we focus mainly on B2B commerce. We use OroCommerce, of course, and also on achieving operational excellence for our customers, where we build a partnership with Morello, which is also based on Oro platform. And Morello is a detailed operations platform, which will help customers also fulfill the needs in order management, etc. So why did we choose OroCommerce, and also Clabots tools choose OroCommerce? So Clabots tools was looking for a solution, new platform that is future ready. Within our experience in e-commerce platforms, we see that Oro has all the important B2B features already built in out of the box. And on top of that, it's also easy to extend and customize towards the customer's needs. It fits our technology stack, which is based on PHP, Elasticsearch, etc., where we are well familiar with. Symfony, the platform where it's built on, is also well familiar with our group. So meaning that adoption towards Oro felt quite familiar. Last but not least, the partnership with Oro is pretty close. The support from Oro is great, so everyone is taking up his responsibilities. So coming forward as a combined team and also a customer-focused team towards Clabots, that was one of the main reasons for them to choose for this solution. Being future-proof, having an API built on top of the platform layer, all the new technologies that need to be there out of the box. So that's the main reason why we choose for OroCommerce. So how did we kick off the project into our journey to digital success with Clabots? So we started off with a customer journey where we first got to learn Clabots, their customers, their business needs, their products, identify all the requirements, put up an analysis, and made sure that the work that we needed to do was clear for both parties and get agreed on the scope. Where we then started with a PIM implementation, started looking at their catalog, the implementation we did with the partner bots, index within our group, and they are specialized in Akeneo and are well known with how they need to map the integration from an ERP system with all the data towards an PIM solution where they can enrich all the content that need to be added to the products and then sync it through to other system and channels, as also do the offline catalogs, etc. We also took care of the specific customer features that were needed on top of the standard features, of course, for Clabots. Some of them we will enlighten in the next few slides, where Gerry will take over the small demo. So that was part of that journey too. And on top of that, we also did an integration with the ERP system, where we actually fully integrated all the prices, stocks, all orders that are also offline available. They are also available in the portal of the customer, where they can also see, besides the orders, invoices, shipping notes, and all the information that they need to collaborate with Clabots. As a last part, to get for the bigger client of Clabots a more automated workflow, we also put up punchout, which was created in collaboration with Verbis. Punchout is actually an automated flow where they can already place orders from their e-procurement system directly into OroCommerce and then have it filled towards the e-commerce system, the ERP system of Clabots, without the need of placing manual actions in the e-commerce website of Clabots, which made it more efficient for their customers in the end. All those projects, so PIM, ERP system, punchout, etc., it was all to be done on the same time, so it had to go live on the same end of date. And it was a challenging project, but in the end we made it work. We had a good collaboration, and Gerry will enlighten some of the features that we built in the next slides.
All right, guys, before we start with the extensions and the explanation of the extensions, it is very interesting to discuss some demo conditions. We're going to be using two different users. There's going to be a B2B user and a B2C user. And it's interesting to know that we are going to be conducting these demonstrations on the UAT environment. So it's still a testing environment. Things can go wrong. If you see any bugs, please ignore them. We will try and do the same thing. And we're also using a translator extension in the browser to translate the website from French to English. And this extension can sometimes behave weirdly, so please ignore that. So without further ado, let's jump in extension number 1.
Our extension number 1 will be about customers and customer users. So let's see what we have out of the box in Oro. So Oro actually comes built in with customer features, and the idea here was to be able to represent the company, then its divisions, so subsidiaries, and also all the employees that will log in and act on behalf of our business. So we have actually 4 main elements here: a customer, which is our company. Then this customer also has a parent-child relation, so you can create a big tree out of it and map all your subsidiaries, all company divisions there. Then customer can be assigned to a customer group, which will act as a logical division that you can later use in your customizations, or out of the box you can, for example, assign the price list to customer group instead of customer. Then we have a customer user, which is the real person that will log into the storefront and perform actions on behalf of the business. And this user needs to have a role, which is a set of permissions that tells platform what this user can or cannot do. And this default structure has some limitations. So first is on the customer level, because customer can be assigned to only one customer group. And second, the one that actually interests us right now is on the customer user level. So customer user can be assigned to only one customer. So later, if you log into the storefront with one account, you can perform actions to only one for only one company. You cannot represent multiple companies with the same storefront account.
All right, guys. So if you're looking at the business requirements for Clabots, they had some bigger clients which were part of subsidiaries. So that means that are bigger companies with child companies. And sometimes these multiple companies were represented by only one person, and it would make more sense to only have one customer user account that could efficiently switch between all of these different customers. So to do this functionally, ideally on the customer portal or on the storefront, that customer user could swap companies and just do the job or purchasing for that particular customer, and then continue to switch for all of the particular customers that were assigned to them. We're looking to the solution. It's actually quite easy. We need some sort of many-to-many relationship table, which holds all of the different customers that a customer user can be assigned to. And that will give you some sort of select box where you can choose a particular customer, and then we have to swap the customer ID on the customer user table, and then we can move forward from that. If we're looking to native Oro capabilities, you can see in the management console that you can swap between customers. So that is already working. We're just going to be automating that based on some sort of configuration that is set on the customer portal. So let's jump into a quick demonstration to show you all about it. I'm going to be logging in to a storefront account, but first of all, you see that this storefront account or customer user has multiple customers assigned to it. It is an extra column in the data grid. We have a user 25 carats and PH Pro. We can maybe first go to the update page, and if we scroll to the bottom, we see that we can assign multiple customers here. And these customers will be shown on the storefront, and you can select one of them as a customer user. So let's impersonate this user and move to the storefront. So this is the storefront of the Clabots application. If we go to the user icon, we see an action change company. So now we're on 25 carats. If we click change company, we get a select box for all of the assigned customers. So let's go ahead and swap to PH Pro. If we save this, we will be navigated to the My Account page, and we see that all of the corresponding information of the customer is assigned to this customer user right now. So now we can go ahead and start ordering for this customer, and whenever we want to transition back, we can go back to the change company section and move on. All right, that was extension number 1. Let's go to extension number 2.
A second extension will be about product catalogs of Akineo. But actually, before we go to Akineo itself, let's see what we have in Oro out of the box regarding ordering the content. So we have 2 elements. We have master catalog and web catalog. So master catalog acts just as a category tree. So you can have multiple categories, parent-child relation, and then we assign products to those categories. But here, the restriction is that a product can be assigned to only one master catalog category. And to overcome this limitation, we can use the second element, which is web catalog. And web catalog actually helps us to organize the whole content of the site. So not only products into categories, but the whole content. It's built as a tree of nodes, but this node right now can be of many types. This can obviously be a product category from master catalog, but this can also be a landing page or a system page. So basically some route, product details page, and the element that interests us the most in this example, it's a product collection. So you can create multiple nodes, each can be of product collection type. And then while creating product collection, you can add to it any product you want. So you can have one product and you can add it to multiple product collection. At the end, in the storefront, for the end user, it will look like a product belongs to multiple categories, but actually this, you need to remember that this is web catalog product collection node. So when we have this web catalog ready, how to show it in the storefront as a main menu? We need to go to system configuration, select our web catalog, and also specify the navigation route. A navigation route will tell our platform which node is a root node for our menu. And then when you go to storefront, you'll see that this main menu is built out of child nodes of our navigation route. And that's basically it. Another interesting element in web catalog are web catalog restrictions. And here you can decide that, for example, some nodes of web catalog should be shown to only particular set of customers by specifying customer or customer group, or for specific language, if you select localization, and in multi-website application, you can also select a website. So this helps us to build a really highly customizable version of the same one web catalog. So we will have one web catalog with many, many nodes, but some particular users will see only part of it and others some other part. And now we can finally go to Akineo. So Akineo PM, a place where you keep products, all information about your products, catalogs, so categories, category trees, configurable products with the variants. And we do have an integration, Akineo integration available for you with some default features. So what we can sync by default, all the product information starting from name, SKU, images, all product attributes divided into families, catalog, so categories and category trees, also all the configurable products with their variants, and product brands. All those elements in our integration, they have a separate connector that you can turn on or off. So you don't need to sync all the data all the time. You can just pick the one that you need. And as you can see, we were talking about master catalog and web catalog. And actually for master catalog, we do have out of the box in this integration a connector. This is a category connector, but we don't have a connector for web catalog. And this one is needed in this extension.
All right, if we're going to be looking at the business requirements for Akineo for Clabots, they wanted some sort of automated catalog management. So they wanted to generate web catalog content nodes based on the information from Akineo. And then they wanted to import, upsell, and related products as well. So product associations are also stored in Akineo, and they wanted to put that into Oro as well in an automated way. And then they wanted a separate client catalog per client, because some of the bigger clients just wanted their own catalog, and it does make more sense to show particular products only for one client and hide the rest to ease the user experience. If we're looking at the solution, we had to create a custom Akineo integration connector, a web catalog connector that enables us to pull the data from Akineo, the category data, and create content nodes from it, and then it should create the correct product collections and assign it to the content node. And for the import upsell products, we also needed a custom connector that would just pull all of the relationship data into Oro. And then for the automated personalized catalog, we could actually spin up an extra integration only with the web catalog connector enabled to just link it under a specific content node that is only visible for that client. So that's pretty abstract. So we're going to be jumping in some sort of demonstration to give you a better image of what I just said. So let's start with the Akineo integration. This is the default Oro integration bundle for Akineo. And what we added is the configuration for a root content node. Here you can select any content node, and this is the default Akineo integration. So we selected the standard catalog. And underneath this content node, it will sync all of the dynamically created content nodes from Akineo. And right here, we have an additional connector, which is a web catalog connector. And once it is turned on, it will start creating all of these content nodes and assign the correct product collections to it. And it will all be sorted underneath that root content node. So if we're moving to the web catalog section here, we see that we have the catalog root nodes, and all of these child nodes are automatically created. And I already clicked open one of these, and you see that we have some sort of code which isn't really readable, but the translations tell you a little bit more about the category itself. When you scroll down, you see a product collection, and this product collection is generated based on the Akineo categories stored on the product. It has the code CBAA, and that's the exact code of this content node. And then it pulls in all of the products with some automated query into this collection. And whenever this collection is updated with new data from Akineo or new products are synced with the same category code, it will automatically be updated just like that. And then to import all of the product associations, the upsell and cross-sell associations, we have some additional configuration. We have a connector, which is called product associations. And then we can enable the upsell products or the cross-sell products imports. And then we have some sort of association type code, which is going to be mapped from the API response of Akineo. So once this is configured, it will import all of the related and upsell cross-sell products from Akineo. And then to generate a catalog for a separate client, we can just create a new Akineo integration. Then we can update the root content node to a content node that has some restrictions that only that client can see it, and it will start syncing all of that information underneath. All right, that was the Akineo extension. Let's move along to extension number 3.
So now we'll talk a little bit about the inventory. So we have two main elements in Oro connected to inventory: warehouses and then inventory levels. So first we create warehouses. You can create as many of them as you want, and then you'll be able to specify inventory level per warehouse. Also, you can enable, you don't need to use all the warehouses, you can enable only some of them for your application or per website. And when you will enable them, you also specify their order. And this order can be later used, because if you turn on the managed inventory, this part is optional, but if you turn this on, then you can also select to decrement inventory on order submission. So whenever a customer user finishes the order, platform will take the inventory level from the warehouse. So it will check the first warehouse from the list. If there is not enough inventory there, it will check in the second, then third, and so on and so on. So that's why this order is very important.
Right. So this was already very nice that it was fully implemented in OroCommerce, but for Clabots, we wanted to extend it upon this functionality for a bit. Clabots required us to show the stock per warehouse on the product detail page, and they wanted to select a pickup location in the checkout so that the user or the customer can drive to the pickup location and collect their order from there. So how is this solved is we needed some sort of custom provider that would fetch the stock levels for a particular product on the product detail page. And then we created a custom widget to render this information on the detail page. And for the pickup in store, we just needed to create shipping methods per pickup location so that they could actually be selected in the checkout process. Then you can additionally also filter out non-applicable locations that do not have stock, but this was not done for Clabots because they did not require it. But it is a valid extension that you can build yourself quite easily. So let's see that in action. Let's log into this account back on the storefront. Let's open a product and check out the stock levels for a particular one. So this is the PDP page of a product, and you see here the 3 pickup locations or the 3 warehouses. And here you can see the stock for this product per location. Then we can add this to the cart. And then we can go ahead and check out if we can select it as a shipping method. So let's create an order. And here you can select, I will choose a pickup point as my shipping address, so you can skip the shipping information step. And then here you can select a pickup location, Brussels, Liège, Saint-Étienne. That's based on what you just saw on the PDP. And here in the order line items, you can still see the stock levels per warehouse. Okay, so that was that extension. Let's go ahead and move along to the next one.
Okay, so now we'll talk a little bit about prices and discounts. So in Oro, everything is gathered into price lists. So once you have a price list, then you can create a price inside it. And we create a price, of course, for product in particular currency, also for some particular units. So we'll specify different price per item and different price per box. And also we support tier pricing. So you can specify different price if somebody buys 1 product and different price if somebody buys 10 or more, 100 or more, and so on. Then when we have a price list ready, we need to assign this price list, and we can do it on multiple levels. We can do it globally, we can do it per website, per customer group, or customer. So we can have a situation where we will have multiple price lists. They will all contain a price for our product. So which price will be actually displayed in the storefront? To calculate the price that will be visible for the end user, we use a pricing strategy. And out of the box, we have 2 strategies. First is the minimal price, which basically displays the lowest price. And second is the priority strategy. And this priority is connected to those levels. So global level has lowest priority, then we have website, then customer group, and then customer level has highest priority. So if you have a price set on the customer level, this one will be displayed in the storefront, even if it's higher than the one set on global level. Of course, if you use the priority price strategy. And then we display prices in the storefront, on the listing pages, and on the product details pages, together with tier pricing. Another interesting part of pricing system in Oro are taxes. And taxation system consists of 5 elements. First, we have product tax code, which is just an identifier, and later you will select it for a product. Then we have customer tax code, same thing, just for customer. Then we have tax jurisdiction, where you specify the area that tax will be applied to. Here you can specify country, region, or zip ranges. You can specify only country, but you can specify also a region. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. And then at the end, we have a tax, which represents the actual value of our tax in a percentage. And to be able to apply a tax to the order, we need to create a tax rule where you will select all those 4 elements. So in the tax rule, you will specify that for some products, for some customer, in specific area, we want to apply appropriate tax. So what is actually the tax flow in Oro? First, we have tax rules. You can have many of them. Then based on the configuration, we choose appropriate tax rules and we apply taxes in the checkout. And what we can set in the configuration, first you can select if the product price already includes tax or not. By default, it's set to false. And then we can also specify something for the matcher. So how the tax rule will be matched against which address. So this can be, for example, shipping address or billing address that user selected during the checkout.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about the business requirements in regard to prices and discounts for Clabots. They had a very important thing, and that was that they needed to show the VAT globally. That means on the PLP and PDP pages. So this was something that we had to extend, and it had to be shown differently based on the customer group that the customer was assigned to. Then the PDP pricing was also needed also to be done in a different representation. That means that sometimes it could be that a customer had a contractual price, and then that customer needed to see their price versus the MSRP price to make it more interesting to buy that item. And then they had some more additional use cases just to show based on some sort of condition which a representation is going to be used on the PDP. And then for discounts, they needed a more appealing way to show tier prices on PDP. So it's already available in Oro, but they want to show the difference in amount percentage-wise that you would save if you would buy in higher tiers. So it would be more interesting for that client to buy more of a certain product. So let's see how we came up with a solution. For showing the VAT globally, we needed a custom price widget for the PLP and PDP. And then we need some custom product tax price provider that would fetch the correct prices with tax or without tax based on the tax rule that was defined for that customer. And then for the PDP pricing, we needed some conditional widget rendering, but because we had to show the contractual price based on some sort of criteria, and then we had to show the normal price. And this is all done through a data layout provider, which will return the correct prices and return some sort of Boolean flag to base a conditional widget rendering on. And then for the discounts, we needed a custom tier table widget. And then we needed some sort of calculator service that would give us the difference that you would save in percentages, so it could be shown on the PDP. So let's check that out in a demo. I think we're still logged in as a B2B client. So if we're going to the PLP page, you can see that we see all of the prices excluding the tax. So we can click to a product and we see still it's your price excluding the tax. And then we have an additional case where there is a contractual price. Let me grab the link quickly. So if we load that in, still has to be translated. Let's see where it can't be translated right now. So it's still in French. But you see here two different prices. This is the MSRP price and this will be their price. So they see the difference and it's more appealing to buy this product now because they see that they gain something out of that. And it's only done if some sort of price is set in a price list for this particular customer. Now we can also log in to a B2C account to see the different representation for a B2B user. So if we go to the PLP once again, we see that we have the prices including tax. If we click to the PDP, it's still including the tax. So it's a different representation for the B2C. And then we still have the discounts for the tier tables. Let's open that up as well. And right here, you see the discount for the tier price right here. So you could buy one for 10 cents a piece, and then you can buy 200 for 7 cents a piece, and you would save 33%. So that is calculated on the fly to make it more appealing to buy higher quantities of a product. All right, that was the prices part. Let's go ahead and move into credit limits.
So to implement the credit limit, okay. Yeah, to implement the credit limit to pay by invoice in Oro, we can start from the money order integration that comes built in with Oro Core, so you don't need to install any other extension, it's there. All you need to do is configure the integration, which is really super easy because you just need to pass label, pay to and send to. So basically just some informational text fields that later will be displayed in the payment step of the checkout. But how to actually decide which payment methods should be displayed in the checkout? For this, we need to create a payment rule. And while creating this payment rule, in the payment methods config section, you can select which payment method you want to enable. So we can select one method, we can select multiple. So with just one rule, you can enable multiple payment methods in the checkout. And now what to actually do if you don't want to display this payment method always. So you want to restrict this payment method, for example, to the orders that are less than 1,000 euro. So for this, we have an expression field where you can put those simple comparison, for example, subtotal value less than 1,000. But in our credit limit, we actually don't want to compare this to a static value. We would like to compare this to some value specified on the customer level. And this is something that we don't have in Oro out of the box. Also, in this expression section, you can put some simple comparisons. So if we have custom business logic or complicated business logic with additional conditions that we need to check, this expression will not be enough. And this is actually what happened in this case.
All right, so Clabots wanted to enable the pay on invoice method based on some sort of credit limit or credit balance that is stored on the customer level. And they would like for their customers, they would like that they could see that on their account page, so they have some sort of image on how much that they can buy on invoice. And then there was a special case that some customers can surpass their credit limit so that this logic is not going to be taken into account. We're looking at the solution. We needed to override the money order payment integration because there was like really custom business logic and it didn't fit in one of the payment rules. So we put the logic and the conditions right there in this applicable method. And then we needed some sort of order create hook, which would deduct the total order amount from the current credit balance so that they couldn't keep on ordering by money order or on invoice. And then we had to extend the My Account page to show the credit limit there. So let's check that out in the demo. Let's check out the customer. First of all, so we are assigned to 25 carats. Doesn't have a credit limit set. And this will be auto-updated by the ERP, so we have to be fast. Let's set it to 100, for example. And we are now logged in. And it's a B2C, so I still have to switch to the correct customer user. Just a second. Let's log in as a B2B customer and switch between companies very quickly. Okay, so on the My Account page, we see a credit balance of 100 euros. So that means that we can pay by invoice for an order under 100 euros. So let's go ahead and take a product and add it to our cart. For example, this one. So we are now under the threshold of 100. So let's create the order. Get a shipping method, doesn't really matter. And then right here, the translation isn't working, but maybe I can fix it here on the fly. Right, so here is the purchase on account. It's actually purchased by invoice, which is now enabled because we're under the threshold of 100 euros. And if we now go back to our cart and go over it by modifying the quantity, we should see that this payment option should disappear. Just like that, and now you can't pay on invoice. And that's how conditionally we can enable that for some of the customers based on the credit limits. All right, that was that extension. Let's move along to Customer Portal My Account.
So we can do kind of a customer portal with My Account section. And by default, we already have this section with some information. So first part are user information. So basically name, email, address, book. Then we have a section about user history. So everything starting from shopping list, request for quotes, through opened checkouts, submitted orders, and previously purchased items. We have also a section about user management, so we can list all the users in our company and its child companies, and we can also manage storefront roles. And the last element is saved searches. This goes to browsing the catalog in the storefront, so whenever you are on PLP and you browse the catalog, you have a way to filter the result list with some search phrase or with filter set, and then you can save this particular search for future use.
All right, so for Clabots, they wanted to show some additional data from the ERP system in the My Account section to create some sort of omni-channel experience. So we actually used Oro data grids, front-end data grids for this, and we customized it by creating a custom data source pager and filters. And in that way, we could build up a request to SAP to fetch some of the information and then show it under the My Account as if it was stored in Oro. So let's go ahead and check it out. I prepared a different page for this one. So under My Account, we've added delivery notes, credit notes, and invoices. And this data is actually pulled from the ERP system on the fly, and we can still use. I'm logged out right now. That's not good. I'll log in very quickly once again, just a second.
While doing that, I will say we are getting some good questions in the Q&A, and for people who have asked questions and haven't received an answer, we will handle those at the end of the session in the time allotted for Q&A. But good stuff coming through, especially Gregory, you're going to love the estimate request for time. So I know every developer loves to estimate software and webinars.
All right, got it again. So then you can still use shipping number filter, for example, and it will filter with the API request. So it will modify the API request and add filters and paginations, such like that. Obviously, you need some sort of modern ERP system to communicate with a REST API architecture to enable the get filtering, etc. If you have some sort of older ERP system, you need to filter on Oro side inside of the code. It's not super performant, but it's something that you can do. And in that way, you can actually show all of the information from the ERP that is not inside of OroCommerce by extending the My Account. All right. That was the final extension that had a demonstration. And now we would like to talk a little bit more about punchout. So what is punchout? It's an approach that allows customers to order through their own e-procurement system through your e-commerce application. So how would we actually do it? Is e-procurement is like an integration. The partners make it easier. Oro has worked with different partners. They're listed down right here. We chose for Verbus, and we had a good partnership to set everything up, and it was up and running in a matter of months. But how does it look for Clabots? Because every integration of punchout is a little bit different. So initially you have an ERP system which has some sort of extension with e-procurement. You do some sort of request connection with the e-commerce shop. So you're logged in into your e-procurement system. You see some sort of supplier, and then you can click on a button that sends you to their e-commerce system, but you're still within your own e-procurement or ERP system. Then you can navigate around, you can check out some products, and then you can add them to your shopping cart. And at any given moment, you can punch out, and it will gather all of your shopping cart information, and it will paste it in your e-procurement system. From there on, you can go through your normal workflows that are determined by your e-procurement system, and you can send out a final order. And then the e-commerce system can process your order and give you some sort of purchase order that you can then later use to follow up the order workflow. All right, that was it. That was the last integration. I hope you guys liked it. So let's go ahead and move over to the Q&A part.
Perfect. All right. So first question came in from Audrey, who asked, how do you manage the ranking of your products on your website? Are you using the Akinio connector for that?
I'll jump in here. So for this one, we just used the standard Oro sorting. So there's nothing from sorting from Akinio taken over into the catalog of the customer. So it's just the standard sorting like relevance by name, by SKU, and etc. on product attributes that the sorting is based.
Got it. So the sorting, the ranking of products on like a PLP is handled inside of Oro, not inside of
Yeah,
Akinio.
indeed. So they don't manually manage the sorting neither in Akinio. So they just have it based on the attributes like it is standard in OroCommerce.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Next question came in from Ami. What is the estimated developer time to implement the customizations for multiple customer per customer user? That was the first one. And credit limit. Feel free to take this however you want, guys.
Yeah. I'll have to check internally, so I don't know by head. Hey, I don't know if you have an idea. I think it goes over development for both of a couple of days. So this first one, yeah, it was somewhere in between, I think 3 to 5 days maybe. The second one is also integrated with the ERP system, so that might have been also the first one is actually integrated with the ERP system, so there also goes amount of work into preparing making sure that it is integrated the same way, of working the same way as it does in the ERP system, and a lot of work goes in connecting those parts. So I think with this in mind, that it will take at least a couple of days, like 3 to 5 days for both features.
Perfect.
That's about right.
Got it. Good to know. Yeah, you got to quality check the estimate. I understand. Next question. Was this the business requirement that the buyer cannot use credit limit partially covering the payment if the amount is higher than the limit? I think this is related to the credit limit.
So to explain this one, maybe first to make sure that we're on the same line, the credit limit here is not that it is just an amount that you can use to pay your order with. It's more like a limit that you can spend. So if you don't pay your invoices, for example, you have a limit of 5,000 euros as an example that you can spend on orders, but then you need to pay them. So to avoid that there's misuse by customers, there's a limit set that they can spend without their invoices paid. So at this moment, this was not a feature request to have partial payments, for example, that they can partially buy an invoice and partially buy online payment for an order. So if they outreach their limit, they just need to pay online to avoid that they spend too much money on credit.
Got it. And I think the business case here is what happens if I have a credit limit of $10,000. I'm going to use dollars as American. And I have an order of $15,000. Can I use 10,000 of credit to apply to part of the order and then split pay basically the other 5,000 on another method? Is that something that Clabots wanted to enable, or did they want to not allow that user to use their credit and then partially pay on another method?
Yeah, at this moment, that's not allowed to split up the payments. So that's also, yeah, it was also in requirements at the beginning. I don't think we had this use case specifically or didn't see this at the first orders that they got. So yeah, for now, that was not in use cases for them.
Got it. What is the behavior then on the side? I'm just interested now.
So if they indeed have the case that someone wants to place an order that is more than the credit limit that they get, they need to pay online. So they actually pay directly, and that minimizes the risk of Clabots that invoices didn't get paid afterwards.
Got it. Understood. So I think, Amanda, the answer to your question is yes. And then I had a hand raised from Yuri. Yuri, if you want to put your question in the Q&A box at the bottom of Zoom, it's the two little speech bubbles on top of each other. You can pop that open, and then you can type your question. Give you a minute to do so. And anybody else who has a question that comes to mind, we have a few minutes left. So if you got anything you want to ask the developers, if you've got any questions about Oro functionality, if you want to tell a joke, the Q&A box is there for you. Just a general question, and maybe you guys covered it, Gregory and Kenny, but when did Clabots go live with Oro?
That was past year that they went live. I need to think truthfully again. I think it was just around the summer a year ago.
Got it. Got it. Okay, good to know. So they've been operating on this for a while. This is not brand new. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Question came in. Another one from Audrey. Regarding customer portal, how did you manage to retrieve documents for the clients, like invoices and delivery notes? Is it on the fly via the ERP or via a CDN? So I guess
at this moment,
files, basically files or text fields attached to the customer record. How are you fetching it?
Yeah. At this moment, it comes directly from the ERP, so it's indeed on the fly from the ERP system. They don't have that many documents yet, so it becomes a performance problem. But in the end, if it's needed, we can indeed have a look to store the documents elsewhere and have it provided from there on. So both the document and also the data. So meaning the data that is available, like invoice number, address, etc. That's all data that comes on the fly with an API request from the ERP system and is then loaded into the data grids.
Got it. Does the file, if it's a file attachment, does that live inside of the ERP as a hosted document that you hosted inside of the Oro file system, or are you using a third-party file system, or is all of the data just text dependent to a record?
It's a link towards their ERP system where the file is loaded directly.
Got it.
So it's not stored on OroCommerce side separately to also, again, to avoid misuse.
Yep. Perfect. Not all your ERPs can do that, but it's good to know that theirs can. Another question came in.
So that was also, maybe to add a little bit to that. So they come from another system that they had before. So it was a re-platforming project. So it's also a brand new ERP system, and that it went completely parallel with the e-commerce implementation, and also making sure then the integrations were all set up to date with as it should be in the ERP system and the brand new team.
Got it. Okay. Another question came through from Ami. Is paying for outstanding invoices available in the customer portal? So is there a digital pay on an invoice?
At this moment, not. So there's no feature that we built to pay online for an existing invoice. At this moment, it was also not a requirement, but might be interesting to look at further in the future.
Yep. Yeah, that's a use case that I have run into many times myself. There are providers who will allow you to do that. Stripe has rolled out quite a few things recently to enable better sort of bank-to-bank transfers for business payment on invoices. Sometimes you're integrating directly with a merchant's bank, like to post a transaction. At least I know how it works in the US with like ACH. But I'm not as sure how that works in the European market, banking market. But it is a feature that gets commonly built if a business is ready for it, because a lot of times they're still paying their invoices offline, and are they used to that? They're set up for it.
And I think adding to that, what might also be interesting if someone of the company is placing the order, but someone else is paying for them, or need to have the rights to pay for it. So that might be an interesting business case for this indeed.
There's a lot of paper checks going on by somebody else. An accounting department. Yeah, right. Because the AR and AP teams often do not have logins to the buyer portal, right? Because that's their only need for it. Okay, that's all the open questions. We'll give everybody a minute or two to put anything else in. And then if not, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. The recording is going to be sent out. Comment comes in. We have a requirement to pay invoices, but the biggest challenge is the sync with the ERP. Yes, I can see that, because the ERP's vision of what a chart of accounts looks like is going to be different from what the commerce platform or the portal's version of a chart of accounts looks like, because you're going to have data probably inside the ERP that's not present on Oro in this case, because there are going to be offline orders that are being interacted with, and probably payments, like I said, people mailing paper checks, right? Or, you know, sending boxes of gold coins. I don't know. It can be old school sometimes. But yes, thank you, Amanda. We had a great time as well. Thanks everyone for attending, and have a great rest of your day or a great evening, depending on where you are. And we'll look forward to the next Tech Talk, which will be coming next month, so stay tuned. Thank you, Gregory, Kenny, and Jacqueline.
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.